me say titafo me say mo boss MP picture ma Wontumi enja ne mu me ka kire mo say sebi ene ehia no MPP legal team for no ya ka kire mo say omo file appeal no mo challenge decision a judge no e di aba
why name him say Wontumi oye galamsey ni kese e wo mamu a no oye galamsey mo ankasa mo government no before mo government ni free power the then lands minister kama issue no ba ye I can say near my Wontumi ye no illegal mining.
The very serious part. Wontumi is saying that he only asked Henry to go and do reclamation.
Yes.
But unfortunately for Wontumi, he didn't pay. And reclamation is expensive. So and his story is that, Henry, as part of the reclamation, was to plant coconut trees. And when these coconut trees
do share the profits at the end.
I can imagine. Cock and bull story.
Wontumi's case, for me, even though where I sit, if you take the law out, it's a bit harsh.
Is it?
Yes.
But UTAC has been quite brutal in the fight against galamsey.
We are still for galamsey.
You actually threatened us with strike.
20 years. Cement bako 70 cedis. Oje 10. Sasabura duro sister Ghana oje 6 years.
Me meti me bufu yi. Say enye Wontumi ni obi first person wey illegal mine wo Ghana ha. Na ya jeje no 20 years. Na me nyini so opiti ya no kotu galamsey. Ana okwa illegal mine mpanyfo bi ka ho. Omo mo wai.
Chama Wontumi after say ya daily 20 good years plus 300,000 Ghana cedis. Of course, obvious. I'm not for kasa. I'm not for say kasa na. My sister na mentiase. Wa wo e kwam ya he. A friend say ma meriba uni kapre. O ko dwen Chama Wontumi. Na ahiyafo as ye nsheda mpa ya bra bosa. Askafo no machine si a te se de omunya ntodo kunu bi no mo ma hia. Ye wi na esa kwa bia ma wo. Chama Wontumi ana ahiyafo group akabo omuku de nti a ya che Chama Wontumi atum. Na ahiyafo na omode asase ne ma Chama Wontumi wo mpinifo na mo kan no wo he. I'm so ubusa mpinifo na omode ma no na me fo so. Ba enu nti se o se men chena ejimi na wujimi ana se unim de Chama Wontumi ye oko Samreboi flood is order nanu yesi yen high poor man has no friend poor no friend ya kan is ani emwa ya se jimi se ya taba se uye ehwenye yi obi momu sai wo ono the gold bars show what one the obedi what na kwa unim eso Chama Wontumi no be defense kerosene na egu ya adwunu mu ana asere so me kwa babio pa hia pa me ebi hia mi o me mani hia me da because say kan o kan hia fo pa ya the way hia fo bi dwene no because something ye Jimmy no Wontumi define any book biamu. But the like of lawyer Martin Kpebu, Samia Uku, and others, Agasa Samia Uku said judgment no was wrong. Martin Kpebu and some others who NDC say judgment no was right because Chama Wontumi will be as a galazig campaign that. But Samia Uku said they be. We know as NDC for ana ye fragadam. I better Chama Wontumi go from. Tika kire me. Comment section as say Chama Wontumi no aye fragadam. Ana the government NDC aye moti na tum say Samia Uku kan. Anase de Martin Kpebu and Joseph Azumah MP edema Akrofrom kano. Say obi anu say Chama Wontumi galamsey no gra no asa wa fan for 20 years na say so 300,000 Ghana de so say mra me bisa ya mo ka tere mi ya pepe ndi ka kire me e comment section ase o se fata anase ase ye punishing too much uye new a subscribe se unye new kura na which man like it share ba unya enye be kai de bia na bra edi no e ba akopɛ max billion edi ne unya ta di ni bia wawie wo share me kuro na ma me fans na kakra me wa me de ma kakra ni mu ameto nso so ama ni na no the same thing the same document aha ayo old boga trends chama Wontumi Judgment Day part 2 and say after say man 20 years now omo ne konse won na omo ne ko he me nhye dan hu you oda he ko Ghana de sikani mezi me nyi ni say bezi ne agrada de tumu hwe kai won ko prison ba man na kala toso Ghana hanko a prison anka na woda am kra woda no tontom yo agrada ko prison ba ya no makeups nothing agrada kala ye yopo fe asi yakudware no a friend say enkwan so wei na nu ya sunyani ya okoku otwa ni pa otwa fridge mu ada ebe sentence no akwa no okoro na me ameti we mesu boy no ko ba ya ye be sentence that day no oye me times 3 edinese me ameti abonten kwa no menye duane ni eduru ono o prison me wa prison fo aduane obi am se na 1 cedi eno kwa mpo no se prison officer fo na omunyi sika no omunyi na ye aduane mo nyanko bonko ni eso ono ko ba no ai kese ache me enti Ghana hanu no aya me no mi enu nko na se mra no di a like prison no rare ebedam anase chachuji kata mo ne a friend is saying ato esiemo omun na da prison and he said na time akuru na da prison I want to go e da prison a friend is agrada am ko da like sanity Ghana na me na mi no tin de me gidie firi mu ache ndi nema bi wo a forget me but me that Thomas me okay Ghana dear but yes it amount to them 20 years 20 years go on 7 now because concurrently because or 7 ni now instantaneously ne count 1 and as in the count 6 ni na no 7 ni na 20 years guy 40 years but 20 years no or 7 we dia boom the same time or 7 we 1 year and no cry no almost obese say 2/3 say 1/3 say 1/4 nti I don't know 5 years, 3 years, 4 years. No was say we. But and what she MPP for
na ni amansan nyina ehu se ene jaja o transe a odi Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Antwi Boasiako asem no atemu a odi aba no ya atemu a achia na amaye nyina ya hu se sabi amayosem ena atemuafo no woye ya rawo ne se ya dutum se Ghana emra ena ese ya adwuma na so emra ne nkyere se sabi obubi atan na chia me enka wasem asama eda court na nim enne court ni buaye no ne tenten ni tetia ene se obia no wo a owo prosecution ho attorney general office ho etimi ka asem ema ne to asum se chema Wontumi sabi no ni nkrata se obetu sabi gold o ya sase so eno enya ade a court no edi achinie enti a chese chema Wontumi no okrata eman ho kwan so betu form agudie asama court no eka ene se omu gina so a omu de chema Wontumi akotwe aban kokom ne se omu se chema Wontumi krata na na okra na emrem no ho kwan so bekra sa krata no o de sa krata no ama obi se onfa nkoye adwuma abra lance minister ama approval sebi enchese Wontumi okoye galamsey if say title na ekura no na emremu na edimu boni aban ne kasowa ne se o say chema Wontumi de ne krata ma obi akoye adwuma aban na mprenso na so ekọ court no prosecution na ntman kire preference ampa adanse o kire se chema Wontumi e de ne krata na sase ama obi se ofa nkoye adwuma aban no amprenso prosecution no o ntman kire judge wodi asem no ese amu ba ye be di adanse na asem o kan no eno no do tu nsieni a ogina so a o ka se chema Wontumi edifo eno ne mmem ye kan circumstantial evidence na so man prove beyond reasonable doubt a back criminal prosecution ese prosecution na se court no edigina so ka asem no obi asem o ka kan ye eno nti na judge na gina so a o ka so de chema Wontumi akoto aban no kukumu ye MPP party no de kan se o man peni mahama se o papa sebi illegal mine e friend galamsey no obeko ho na so betu ho esa ene wa bemu enkofo bebre wo ma wa okwa ogitum se omoto na so omo ye galamsey o man peni de Ghana fo obusa ne se sa asem no akosi sen o party fo no na omo ye no ehu asem no akosi sen na kwakoye se o man peni ni NDC awon haria asem bi efa opposition fo no omo edekọ na se omo tu hwasa no ene sa awon hari ni bi na asem for NDC fo ho a omo tu sa asa no egofo di petition ko ma yoko efa NDC or national organizer Joseph Azumah ho ene omo vice chairman Abanga Yakubu ho se omo ye galamsey o man peni ni NDC fo ebusa mo se asem no akosi sen uye no friwa NDC mra so bejani owo afano south east your friend Mohammed Yakubu ohene bi pamoni free na himfie enam se oye galamsey hu no yebuso man peni se akosi sen opa awowin MP or NDC MP ho friend honorable Oscar Ofrelabi eko bi friend Ghana coalition against galamsey ese papa no oye galamsey yebuso man peni ni NDC fo ne se sa no man nyina no akwa akosisen before sa akonya we so maka cho man peni se ensema ehia Ghana fo hwe se obetu hu sa no ena hu sa na otu na emom ni opponent ena wa na adwen se obetu nani ade esi wo so Cocoa farmers po esu sabi enchaye ena nso eyifa amanfo omo nkran ha ena regents ni biaka o man peni kan wodi a wodi prosecute opponents no kasa wodi ni bi no fa ko hye sa ntokwa we mu se be ya flag no sem no ejin sem wo mem ha na de me kan ko wie ne se me hye titafo me hye mo boss MP chema Wontumi enja ne mu me ka kire mo se sabi ene ehia no MPP legal team for no ya ka kire mo se omo file appeal no mo challenge decision a judge no edi aba na me wie no me pese wiasem nyina ati asese chema Wontumi abanko koma de da kotwe no eyamayosem sabi enya boni bi no akwakoye oye political prisoner amayosem ti enya de na koto abanko kuom eyamayosem ti ana NDC aban ena koto abanko kuom na yakopo oti ase no yeni se ebrese mo no kre eba bededi media mu nyina amase
na Joseph Frimpo nkodua ana na anu yoni chama Wontumi ku chama Wontumi gas ada na Joseph Frimpo ko bi na tabi ana policies no dey see ya na tie elu asem tu na mu nyina mu blegu ti one party a watamfo kra wodofo yirade yango bon so me wupa na me ko na me ba enfame ma planet earth me be apes no woro fa me ko to because I say anya sa fa me to China ni Japan no fake love man no love and also fake love man no love just you know who eso you be just you be ye o ye nim tisi ye dog tina me say I prefer an extreme wicked person and an extreme good person in pain between. I say we are good, we are bad, baby. We are bad, I are bad. We are good, I are good. Open come out, you come out. We are din. Oba serasere, on seramen sere. Muna ni usi wo muna. Na sa Justin Frimpong go bia the general secretary of the MPP. The okatre tama Wontumi na anu ye ma tama Wontumi. Ebe respond here and na yama 20 years and desa. Ye correct press conference am MPP. Onu mo na kwagina microphone ano eh. Alexander Afenyo Markins ni gina nachi. Meanwhile, obi say Alexander Afenyo Markins, minority leader, no support to Japan. In him say chama Wontumi e support Mbawumia. Ntenye pew. Omo in the same camp. Ndi ase the team any day. But abonten so nipa anim ti. Politics ya aboabone. Politics ya aboabone enya de papa. Say enya de ase nipa fa edeta na akoma ho. Ebeku na otam so ye. But chama Wontumi ho ana akyere no. Na enu achi ana after say Joseph Azumah ese obia nim se ken your friend say chama Wontumi oye galanse campaign cheze ko nie oba bia na odi go the TV so bia hu like is it any news
emwa odi share mu ni bibia oye enema oye using the letterhead facilitating in getting excavators to the site any ade nyina no e kire say ono ade man kwa so onye adwuma no na yemfa bibia nto nkyɛn ne yenka say why na nim say Wontumi oye galamse ni kese e wo mamu a na oye galamse mo ankasa mo government no before mo government ni free power the then lands minister kama issue no ba ye e kan say niam a Wontumi ye no e illegal mining Chatam na menua Abujinapo and the minister.
Abu said that.
Okay. I think me Google the amount is here.
I never heard that.
Okay.
But you are still
I will search for it because
on record.
I think we can get it online.
Abu said that Wontumi was doing galamsey.
Yeah, that Akonta mining is engaging in illegal mining. And the government na nkasa kra the Samuel Uku government because Hodima akotene MPP government Nanado Danko Kufa do government Nanado ka say akonta man and engaging in galamsey the lands minister contradicted
okay
Professor Frimpong Boasiako na year or the buy no what read about akonta mining involvement in galamsey na Wontumi prove my hu baby okoyi gold no oyi gold ahodo de to the TV station obeye bi wo Poladomo Chirenim or about 3 or 4 TV stations oyi rare money this is rare first solid money my friend say something
all the can we
me pesa wo boa me say yeah for oh man I say the solid money you say no I will you be free bag no that no say you no nya gold no ever
na ono be say share the
one name say
say we share the wakoti sisi honorable Abujinapo die our cancer former president and so be cancer
yeah and I will have from Boating na yinumu
na ene no say we share you know judgments are nyina ye ready one can say akonta mining illegal
onye direct illegal nyo no na you what the no mo ye na say ko concession or say aban ne ba here or revoke or something obia concession and ahodo no mo ye say small first mining sector no ye be regularizing ama illegal mining no I think 2017-18 ho baby obia licenses ye revoke here ye omo wie ye no mo cheche dem omo nkofo these are open secret
Me na me person me who say, you know.
Yeah, them all we ya the omo ya ne say. Me ya so me wo di ma kwaje concession no. Me
bo.
Me na me din da so na me the amount of 40 so ya galamsey.
Don't say the nature ya say.
Me
person me who say e conform with a president na based on nsemo a painful ni bi aka any reporter workers Professor Franco Boateng report now the that one of my discussing and any nyina pair na
what's separating na better na ye because galamsey asem na ye ka
no me can the illegal
illegal concession why the illegal concession and odi am obi illegal activities etia o man no na mra na omko amende ye I think 2022 no
2019
is it 2019
we say
new one now yeah.
2019.
You don't need to be directly involved in doing the galamsey before
if you're facilitator the nebula
exactly so if you facilitate wo boa and in this case you don't need to be the one doing the illegal activity but the fact that it can be established that you were the one facilitating actual.
Okay.
And in this instant, or facilitating, and that okomwa it may be evidence where and I make a choice say the CNN is that yen check concessions no my call for yen ye wodi yen ya ban ya bayaje na the amount call for no mo ye no mo de aba aje o my we the ente yen call yanim aye no kre a nipa mpeka yen pe no kre ka ena ye asemba ena ye tete akira say ye mpa bu nka no kre ni ntia nyasa NPP for na nim so mo chairman Wontumi oye galamsey
okay mate
oh na meta mo no de oye menyanye kwata wo ana say
wakasa more than a
me nkasa sa ba wo de mefa me sa na wo de Matias me no ni so de wo say na wo ma say me so me pa wa say but me see form no anti o can corporate veil when you say like me kai de wo sika na ya but
say in treaty with us
yes can treat him as company a legal separate entity with that right to but this is the case that akonta mine no company na nkasa no o breach so wo breach emra I was a veil me protected one they will remove the veil
so was your judgment
you don't yes and who had judgment no more it is stated clearly say no annual meetings let me search for that one omonya annual meeting board meeting ni ho we ni ho so now the name of the company no and wo ho na nipa na omoye de ye omade
operating
that is the reason why sa corporate veil no nya adwuma that legal entity no nya adwuma wa me ni asame and but if omoje say omo solid defense fine enough that is why they have right to appeal but more than we freeze 5 years and they call 15 and 25 years and we need to protect our lands.
But do you think say it was a mistake so more amended law from 5 years to
I'm going to call 100 quite a mistake.
Okay.
Because it was your boy manager padi ho ban.
Me that say.
Na na Mate say amanfo busa say enti ye che Wontumi ni galamsey stop ana na ye che ata yin kro ma stop.
Okay.
I'm say you. Oboni audi no. Tisu ma ho fanso. Na ada time be so say bu atemu no. Ye ntwe ma Nyankopon be bu. Ya na e be bu atan a Ghana ha. Na anuachi ana Dr. Bernard Tutu Boahene also a lecturer in political marketing, University of Education, Winneba. On say Wontumi a case in I think the sentence is a bit harsh.
I've read the judge reports. I've looked at the reasons for the determination of the case and the defenses that came, and actually I can't really point to the fact that maybe it is it was done based on political, lines, or the judgment was based on politics. Again, let us look at it from this angle. I mean, in court, you deal with facts, you deal with evidence. And so, as long as you have evidence and you have facts, and you are putting up a defense, obviously, then you know that you are within, you are within the case, so you could probably win. The defense that Wontumi actually put up, and his lawyers put up, on the basis that the license was given to, is it Okum? Henry Okum, for purposes of reclaiming, the land. Reclamation is a good thing, I mean, which mining companies may want to do. And so if it was based on that reason, then there was nothing wrong with it. But the judge thought that, the Okum person had no experience. I think there were 3 fundamental issues in there. The fact that Okum had no experience, and
Okum was not giving resources for reclamation.
Second, that is the second point.
Expensive.
Yes. And then the third one was
word against Chairman Wontumi that, yes, you said that I should do reclamation, but there was also the instruction of mining.
Exactly. So these 3-4 points, was the basis for which his defense, was thrown out. So I am tempted to believe that probably the defense of Wontumi, Chairman Wontumi, wasn't that strong enough, as it were, to probably get him off the hook. But you see, my question and what I think is quite difficult for me is that if you take Chairman Wontumi out, are there other people, high-profile people, sponsors of Galamsey, and people who probably may be committing, offenses against the environment? How many of them have been arrested? Not just over the past 1.5 years, but previously. And how many of them, are standing trial? And to what extent are we going to see that their trial will move with that level of speed that Wontumi's case had gone? If it is about destruction to the environment, if it is about, the excesses done, then there are so many people out there, who, as it were, are committing similar offenses to our environment. In other words, Galamsey has not stopped. Galamsey has not stopped. And I also don't want to believe that probably it is Wontumi alone who had given a third party a license to operate Galamsey. There are even people who are operating Galamsey who do not really have
even the
license to operate. And there are cases of arrest in these lines. Your man, this guy who has been doing Galamsey for Joy,
Erastus Asaredon, which we stand,
yes,
yesterday and today, he's the man we're celebrating.
Exactly. he has come up with a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Pinpointing individuals.
Areas.
Yes, and areas and individuals who are into deep galamsey. Are we going to follow up?
It's a question I'll ask those in government.
Okay.
Because it doesn't begin and end with Chairman Wontumi, does it?
Sadly.
There have been names as well that have been mentioned.
Sadly.
And also redirected to investigative bodies to look into. And up to now, there's zero updates.
Exactly.
And of course, the sentencing and the jailing of Chairman Wontumi brings to the fore all of these names again, which we get the impression, okay, we're happy to know that you're doing something. But is that all?
Sadly. But more or less.
Question I'll ask you, Honorable.
So more or less, Wontumi's case, for me, even though where I sit, if you take the law out, it's a bit harsh.
Is it?
Yes.
But UTAC has been quite brutal.
Oh no.
The fight against galamsey.
We are still for galamsey.
You actually threatened us with strike.
Yes.
In some circumstances.
We are still for galamsey.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's why I said that if you take the law out,
and
then I came in.
You are still against galamsey.
Okay.
Not for galamsey.
Okay. Oh, sorry. We are still against galamsey. Now, that's why I brought in my personal.
The law you have taken to put here is what I'm bringing back to that table for us to discuss.
The law.
How do you discuss
the
that?
law gives you a sentence of a minimum of 15 years and a maximum of 25
5
years.
years, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So for me, that is okay. All right. Yes. But even if the judge was going to give, the middle had picked the middle ground. All right. I still probably was thinking that even if it had come to 15 years, because you need to consider his age too.
On what grounds would she arrive at that conclusion?
You are a lawyer, right?
No, I'm not.
You are not a lawyer yet.
I'm not a lawyer at all. So, Doug, on what grounds, I'm just thinking, on what grounds would the judge, try to reduce it? Why? Because it is on each count.
Yeah, so I think there were reasons why she decided to go for the 20 years.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So that reason, fine, it holds.
The reason is grounded in law.
Yes, it is also grounded in law. And I looked at all the, but the human face of it was also important, right? Or in law, they don't deal with human faces.
I like to think so, but so you think that 15 would have been okay.
Ideal.
Now,
based on the definition of the law. Based on the definition of the law. Okay. Yes.
20 years. Cement bako 70 cedis. Oje 10. Sasabura duro sister Ghana oje 6 years. Your friend is saying, but Mamia Muja ni ba yi. Agrada ya saying 15 years, right? Na agrada na 15 years. Say 15 years. 15 years. And it is about 1 year. And on 1,000 cities. Case na the money 1,000 cities. 1,000 cities. Obi, I destroy forests, water body, lands. Wakosi food insecurity. Wakosi ene enzo Ghana ha. Se enzo beto adisi nyanko bonga ni bofu. So enzo wiye so na enzo ato. Because your forest is training na. The name is a preference so bani na your training na. And then this wiye keto bi ammo na hit queen na. Chamon to be involved in all that. Turn on your and then gold boss. I mean, the film growth for at 27.9 million Ghana cedis. Million. A 1,000. Let's say na 2 million. Some bravo. No 2 million Ghana na 27.9 million. 27.9 million Ghana cedis. Turn on your now. On Chamon to me say no. Menu gold na yesi ya ton ya yi na yesi ya sas ya ye ne bebre no sika no de yesi de ye no ye de kwa go esiese Chama Wontumi baby ono ese no hash omi go ton wi keke mama 10 years mama abro poso go ton wi mama 10 years nkwasi asem that same wi na no ko no dala na ye you activate it free. People can smoke in Netherlands. People can smoke in Canada. Even some states in the United States of America are not for smoking. In Italy, your coffee shops are not for smoking. But in there, Dr. Bienu Nagana Grace in doctor. Omona Moya research cannot even prove. Omuntima one reason why are we airborne. Apart from say smoke. Na smoke kwasi ya my wina ya de a friends dua enu aduane. Ye kwa fuma de na enu aduane. Obi akwa fun de gas akwada. Nje dua na enu aduane. Ene smoke. Don't know ya try to grass a harmful to the body nkano. Mama ye no. And so say change we. Mama ye no. Ndi anya we na ya asem, but ya man 10 years. Ndi ne bone odi enyan say adea unnaturally senka yesu ade na ye depend wa brofo so a nke be yusu without brofo no say obu control ya adwene e kire de enyen de me enyen no nke be yusu no enu mpo mama 10 years but am Wontumi na twanua agu wase asase wase nsu ya mon 20 years e hash e me ngwa na mbuafu ana se sa na mu na mbuafu because as en kwase akeka no ya doso Messi ye water no nyimri ye wi a Exim Bank playback mbia no abesi anse ye bakoko road sa Messi wantwa 80 years na ye ntiase Joseph Yami bakui indisi third vice chairman preference Abukar Abagna MP na was it as nafunof sedende Ebenezer Ado sedende MP mo so ba mo chimintum mi do nyame se mo ni 20 years kwa na beba mo ba mo nchom na sutu unless ebia ye bo mu ni nkwa no mo nya involve in galamsey John Dramani Mahama ye president anwan dikan Canada so onim say some NDC members are involved in galamsey I swear God can the Japan brofo I swear mo ba mo nchom na sutu se mo chi mo tum si ya ka ye be safe say cause ye bre pa ye mo muinu our biggest problem is NDC and NPP. Me am tie. Mami nkofa one city grab abontin. Ya chime de metum. Politician betum akunipa te. But obi amfa ntum. Me wa me for one city a ye betim metum. Nti ye na ye kan ye moa ana mo politicians na mo musika no. Mo nipa na ase den. Ye na nye nipa. Na magal me say me koba biwa. I don't want to be a poor man because poverty nankasa say a curse. Skani ubotoma. Na ewe we nanka me osika metima akomande aye niam na metio ma Jerry Ahmed no onye mitipen. Jerry Ahmed na o te parliament no onye mitipen. And then na kasa ni saba akushe ni botoma o kasa kire Dean of Diplomatic Corps. Na ni saba akushe ni botoma. Nanka me ni tipen. Address of Mingamenjeno. According to Paul Yandoh, dear to many, the way I drop in my home. I drop in the way they really are dear to many. Paul Yandoh, Communication Director, Edema, the NPP in the Ashanti region. The boss, Pa Nyachino, Chama Wontumi. The guy say, "Namon sorry, munti." Ana me blessa no. Osino akra no mada. Obaye. Fufu bebe dia na Eden. Yake na wachi ni dokon. Ene ne boss Chama Wontumi. Jabani. Si poya no tuoni na no. Kofi Kinata nyum. It is finished. Asa. Sa. Amrana benawie ye enti it is finished adwuma na si de ambasam ye bia mo ye am say me wura ho mum de me okay o minimo animo amaka but according to friend say Samia Uku also say look nokre ose wo say to ono Samia Uku officer way aye as a politics and yeah. Na judgment na judge no edeba ye no. E bon politics as a ade no efrinsu ase ba anwe wo ho am se me ugaden o se na say judgment no o kan bi me say ai o se hefa na etwere se chama Wontumi na mu na ye galamsey am se yes say we no as o edi amanfo amoma ye galamsey because ono kono so ono kro nya permit omo amaka odi omura forest mu no mu ni permit o se dey bi we no e bo apayo me say na do press conference we no na moto aso me boa okay that's it eti according to Samia Uku o say the echoes no anytime enye fe kra na according to lawyer Martin Kpebu o say Wontumi case yi die o say Wontumi explanation that Henry Okwakun was only manning for reclamation purpose does not add up. It's a cock and a bull story.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. See, when you say that part, the first place, the key thing is, as they mine, the person that's Wontumi is the one that's been given the authority, right? Sorry, Akunta mining, and Wontumi is a directing mind of the company, right? So if you give out the concession and you are not monitoring, and the person is mining, you gave it out. Remember that, Evans, giving it out was contrary to the rules. You don't give out without the permission of the minister. So he's already committed a crime by allowing Henry to be there without supervision.
And he admits that. And that point, Wontumi admits that he did so without authorization.
Excellent. So he nailed himself. He nailed himself. So that afterthought statement that, but he didn't put it in writing, so it is not authorization. It's farcical. Evans, ask every lawyer from year 2 generally of legal training. There's this popular saying in property law class that an agreement for a lease, an agreement, so orally, is as good as a written one. So if you make an agreement orally, Henry, take this concession, do whatever you want to do, it's binding. You cannot later say, but I didn't write it down. Can you imagine if we were to say that for anything a man says, if he doesn't write it down, he's not bound? Can you imagine the fraud will be encouraging? Yeah, so Wontumi gave out the land, he didn't write, and now he's saying that, because he didn't write it down, he didn't even give out the land. You hear his lawyers making that argument, right? Now even making a fool of the whole case, right? So that is him. He permitted it. The fact that, and don't forget, seeing a bit of reclamation is not inconsistent with what Henry said. Henry said Wontumi gave him permission to mine for gold and also to use part of the proceeds to reclaim. So Henry hasn't contradicted himself. So look at the whole evidence. Very key is the fact that the judge did not say that based on the cross-examination, Henry is not believable. Henry is not credit worthy, etc. So Henry's evidence is unreliable. That's not what the judge said. The judge was just looking for other evidence. And that's how come the matter that, or the part that shows that Wontumi did not pay for reclamation. Because now, see, Evans, let's get this part. See the very serious part. Wontumi is saying that he only asked Henry to go and do reclamation.
Yes.
But unfortunately for Wontumi, he didn't pay. And reclamation is expensive. So and his story is that, Henry, as part of the reclamation, was to plant coconut trees. And when these coconut trees
do share the profits at the end.
I can imagine. Cock and bull story. A very cock and bull story. It didn't jive. So those are the things that gave Wontumi away.
That is and throw away bad. What the match as a sebi dimini grana unyini because reclamation say me wa but you can ako Henry ako ne oye witness I demand the prosecutor and no attorney general and the minister of justice was stretching up the time Wontumi ako the other side or going to say no credit say o castle land no me messi but wa mamisika do ka che me say me siesie land ni wia na asase na kra aka no musu na galam say Ana Chairman Wontumi say o dey on everyone needs ankomo no because the oka no omunye documentation documentation wo no uni ma kire enti won san enti wo de wa no saa na kan ye ana so bi ma no ma so saa ne tie enti the same reclamation and one egusa ye eno ho ana ma other people eko wura mu a Samreboi forest omutwa ho twa ho nyeni na am say ayo enti ano na Martin Kpebu say nyansa ndim nyansa wo de nkani ba akufo trimu ba we pa de we nyansa ndim de mo kan tamantu ne da na se wodam ba MPP for so eso mo ntiase dize be ndai Ghana edo ase MPP ne ndi si me ba ko join because me join na echi me a me cover yes sir aya de me dom no swawa o ye new thing yes sir ahwa omo ntimi ma yoku Ghana pay now I know that according to one of the residents Obuase area to Chairman Wontumi 20 years imprisonment or say I was very angry me buafu me dwa gidigidi pa abra me tin say ya Chairman Wontumi ade atum for 20 years in prison though oye onunko a ana ba galamse a oye be Ghana ende enye no kure omo me do so pa
oh make aka meeting aka ne say wa me menya politics wote asem bi na o so otimi kira wadwen so o kira wadwen fa ho me metie me bufu yi say enye Wontumi ni obi first person wey illegal man wo Ghana ha na ya jeje no 20 years na menyi ni so opiti ya no kotu galamsey ana okwa illegal man mpanyfo bi ka ho omo mo wai ohina odi asase man no o wai corona nka se mpanyfo ni opiti ya no okoye enti omo certain free baby emedu baby ansa na bifu say Wontumi e wo so omo ma no judgment bi omo de ama no me dem metie me bufu iba ye so ma jeli 20 years na nsa ase na ka se ya macha na kwa be se na wi Wontumi kwa mi onya hwi ono kwa so de abo o man wote o man ya mu obi edidi won ho nkofo nyafaso won ho tum na mi hunhum so Wontumi kura waye ye pe nkofo bi ate wo me na omo starting free ye ne ya hofo ye DC do no galamsey enti omo pese omo de mra pa ye adwuma wo man mu dia ene omo nya adwuma ye ne wo kura de ene mete in fact na me bu afu pa ye e wo so omo jano kwa no kopa ne ba bi da Wontumi 20 years na be mo my way galamsey agu adwuma ni uye de galamsey be da gu no o ma be na panyi be na bi adwuma na ya jeje Wontumi say 20 years ena be ma de bi asesa na ye jeli ni 20 years na galamsey a stop ene ye chi o ma ni nyina wu if ye ni anti o ma ni nyina wu na so obi aka ho amampa info mo ka ho ana obi amomodua this yi ahifufo ye mo obi asue se galamsey sika me ni bi da
saa sunafun of NDC MP ni kwa kan bi MC bi nanu ya ga se ono jubilee asukura ni bi jomama na kura kan bi ntie ne umwa na se enye ono nko na eye dia ahemfo na omo de asase ne ma e ma Chairman Wontumi nya ne de no omo he ende nyankopon se yenka nokore nisu amehwe omo yihu omo. Where are the chiefs? Ahemfo na omo de asase ne ma no omo he enti ena ma mi busa but the okan ya anya me de ene se the sentence na de man no and the illegal mining which is true but e be serve as a deterrent mame kai and the galamsey but e be ma obi osun bia hu say eto de din na obedem why eno mum de hu hia pa it will serve as a deterrent to every single individual or engaging into galamsey right anti and the Mr. Jamu mananka why Chairman Wontumi de wadi bone pa so odam de wanya ono nko a omo maka se NDC for man hwe antimo amonkrofo ni bi antuma I pray say enter MPP so beba omso ba o machinka ya na aka no until some mummy and much more. I'm a sanity. I prevail in this country. No, and ye de be a year here for no kwa. And you bunch by cement. Sasabu, no much yet to no more 6 years, 10 years, 8 years, 7 years. Some was sent to try. And the I know any mammy problem. According to Weso HSA, for years, the allegation flew freely on air. No evidence required, no right of reply. Yesterday, High Court did it the other way. Charges, trial, defense, judgment, 6 counts, 20 years. The appeal will run, and it should. That's part. He never gave anybody else. We a poetic justice on Wontumi Boasiako a jailino for 20 good years. On 6 counts, I the bono or not Wontumi a contaminants back on the Ojana or no way. Didn't ono automatically. Na say a case a year dear about Kojan is automatically what modified. As a Kevrata, this is what you could do. Or no, what way chrono, and there way or more chrono Kojan. Nti Wontumi dey ye ni case ba ko ka no ho adwane ni se ni news dey on se ka me entry se de e be ni nia we adwane nti automatically na se we di fo but Wontumi counter the ball no nia no e bia no o ye guilty e bia na switch akọ Samreboi ni aba Exim Bank ni aba Koko Road how many years ana operate e da ma Wontumi ka tell me our comment section as we anyway subscribe like it na share ma unya eso enya bi ehwe se Wontumi Judgment Day part 2 aye hit aye dey ka say hit what our old burger trends our naked truth eso edino ever go be max billion macra bye bye.